here at Stanford University, came to hang out with Brock Turner, the Stanford Rapist, and that's what he needs to be known as, not the Stanford swimmer. Forget swimming at this point. You're definitely more infamous for your rape now.
Months in the minimum was 6.
Oh, and he was separated from the general population too.
So, and how are you? I mean, when they say, well, he got out on good behavior. Well, if you're separated from general population, where would bad behavior come in? What are you going to fight yourself?
Right.
I'm sure he was protected. He had security around him the whole time. So of course you're going to have good behavior. If you're
There's
not
nobody
in general
to interact with.
You would think that there would be a better process, that we can't just leave it up to a judge who apparently went to school here, right? The judge, I believe he went to Stanford, I believe.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yes! Right? Didn't the judge go to Stanford?
Where did Judge Persky go to school?
Stanford alumni. See that?
Oh my God.
Right? Fact check.
Stanford University.
He went to Stanford University.
Which allows us to see a little bit into his crazy psyche and why you can let a rapist off.
I would get in trouble longer for having bad grades. I would get grounded for 3 months. Like, there goes your summer, right?
Yes.
I lost my summer because I had bad grades. Yeah. So that's basically what happened here. That's literally a little tap on the wrist. Hey, don't do that anymore. Okay, go back and try to live your life a little better now. Right. To the dad, and I'm sure you guys heard the statement that the dad
20
made.
minutes of action.
20 minutes of action. We're not talking
Ruined
about
my son's life.
We're not talking about 20 minutes of him practicing his sport, of him swimming over here. We're talking about 20 minutes of you sexually assaulting someone.
An unconscious woman.
Right.
Oh, but it was only 20 minutes. I don't care if it was 1 second. You're doing something that is going to ruin someone's life. And he feels, well, my son's life shouldn't be ruined because of the 20-minute decision that he made. It's disgusting.
Yeah, I'm sure someone will help out and let us know.
Infamous. Zoom in on his face again. Get his mug. He needs to be infamous forever. I want people to say, hey, isn't that the Stanford Rapist? You should be remembered for that, because this girl is going to be affected for the rest of her life for what happened to her. Hey, I mean, he got off scot-free.
Yeah.
Without punishment. There's no fear. So there needs to be proper sentencing and proper punishment to prevent things like this from continuing. Why do you think that there's so many cases where it goes unreported? I mean, do you feel like it's mostly fear, it's embarrassment, it's shame, it's he's not going to get punished anyway, right? Like, what do you think? What would you say is one of the biggest reasons for women why they're like, I'm going to leave it alone? Change schools, maybe drop out of school.
Drop out. That's a huge thing. I have many friends who have. I mean, 1 out of every 5 girls will be sexually assaulted.
Wow.
In her lifetime.
Wow.
That is a huge number, and I think it's higher. And like you were saying, the rates of sexual assault and abuse with children is astronomical.
Yeah. What do you think of this guy?
He's a little creepy.
Huh? What do you think of him, Savannah? The important thing is, look, I've got daughters. I have daughters. These things matter to me. Children are being sexually assaulted more than even adults. So when you want to talk about being voiceless and faceless, kids that don't even know that these things are happening to them. And that's what disturbs me the most about stuff like this, is that people can just get away with it, right? And no one wants to step in and fix things. They all just want to say, it doesn't affect me, so I'm out of it. No, it does affect you, because as long as that culture is being pushed into our society, it could happen to your daughter.
Yes.
It could happen to your son. So it does affect you by you allowing it to continue.
Yeah.
And that's why it's very important for people to make sure, I'm not going to allow it to continue. I myself personally, as Ken, the free hugs guy, I am not going to allow it to continue, because just like you guys saw my daughters, they ran up a little while ago. God forbid that be one of my daughters, because 3 months would not be all that's going to happen to him if that was one of my daughters. And I'm the free hugs guy, and I'm saying that, right?
Of course.
So, right, and because that's how important it is to me. And
when this one happened, and I have a son who just went off to college, and I talked to him about this situation. I said, you're going to be faced with a lot of scenarios in school. I can't be there to protect you. I can't be there to tell you exactly what to do. I just hope that what I've taught you, you have the core values, and that you're going to be able to make the right decisions.
Whether it's how to treat and respect a woman, or how to not put yourself in a situation where you can even be accused of a situation, of something happening. And I'd like to say that's when I have children, that's the lesson I'm going to teach, is before you even get into the situation, know where you're going, first and foremost. Know your school, and make sure that you stay with a group of people, especially if you're going out partying or something like that, because anything can happen in these situations.
And so you have to wonder, what was the home training in a situation like this? Because now the parents want to outcry, oh, don't punish my son, he's a good kid.
20 minutes of action.
20 minutes of action, right? Don't
My
punish
son's
my
life
kid.
is ruined.
It's ridiculous.
Like, well, then what led him to do this? If he
Right,
was such a good
you're
kid?
part of the problem.
Right.
You guys as
You are part of the
parents,
problem.
you didn't train him properly to know that that's wrong. I mean, it's not just in sports. I mean, I think just even students in general, they
Yes.
really have to be able to hold each other accountable and say, you're not gonna do this. You know, where were his friends?
Exactly.
You're on a swim team, right? Were you just out by yourself? I mean,
Well, he obviously had him. He was texting them.
you were texting them what you were doing. Where were your friends? And why are you even hanging out with people that are okay with getting that sort of a text message while you're doing that? That's crazy to me. It's another one of the issues that needs to be brought up is accountability amongst friends. People need to be able to say, I'm not going to let you do that. I was raised better than that, and you should have been raised better than that. You know, I wouldn't even want to be guilty of association with someone like that. You know, it's no way it's not my buddy. The closest they'll ever see me to this guy is this
here.
right now. That's it. You'll never see me around someone like that.
But that's the thing. Like, if we know now that 1 in 5 women will be raped, sexually assaulted by the time that they're of college age, we also know that there's someone that's going to be committing that around us. And
Correct.
We want to have that positive impact. Like, how can we change this?
And I started emailing people saying that this was the video that I wanted to shoot. And there were a number of people that said, I don't know if you should touch that. But if I'm given a platform to raise awareness of these issues, I have to touch it. I can't just sit back and
Can't shy away from it.
right? Because if I'm not standing up for them, then who is, right? Should I just sit back and wait for, oh, the women will defend themselves? No, as a man, I feel like that's my responsibility
Right.
too. As a husband, as a father, that's my responsibility
Right.
too, is to be able to look out for women as well and not just say, oh, they're strong, women are very empowered now, they'll be able to defend themselves. We can't just sit back and wait for laws to be changed for stuff like this to not happen anymore. We realize there are a number of things that need to take place, parents raising their kids better, friends holding friends accountable, men being better, women being more aware, and just society being more aware, and everyone being able to look out and say, look, this is happening to kids, this is happening to women, and it's also happening to men. Please like and share the video, and keep spreading the love out there in the world, and let's continue to do better. So, cool. Let's hug it out, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Cool, yeah. Oh, group hug.